High in the Western Ghats, where the clouds sit lower than the tea, lies a district unlike any other in Kerala. Idukki has no coastline. It has almost no railway. And yet, it lights up half the state. From these misty hills come most of Kerala's electricity, nearly all of India's cardamom, and some of the most famous tea in the world. This is Idukki, Kerala's roof, its spice garden, and its powerhouse all at once. Idukki sits in the southeast of Kerala, a long ridge of the Western Ghats pressed up against the border with Tamil Nadu. It is the second largest district in the state, spreading across 4,356 square kilometers of hill and forest. But for all that land, very few people live here. Just over 11 lakh by the 2011 census, the lowest population density in all of Kerala, and the most rural district in the state. More than half of Idukki is still forest. There is no airport and not a single railway station inside the district. You reach it by road, climbing hairpin after hairpin into the high ranges. Idukki is a young district. It was carved out on the 26th of January 1972, joining the high-range taluks of Eravikulam, Udumbanchola and Perumade, taken from Kottayam, with Todupuzha, taken from Ernakulam. The name itself comes from the Malayalam word Idukku, a narrow gorge, the deep ravine on the Periyar River where the district's great dam now stands. Strangely, for a place so wild, the headquarters is one of its smallest settlements, Painavu, a quiet hill town that only became the seat of administration in 1976. The biggest town and the gateway to the hills is Todupuzha. For most of history, these high ranges were deep forest, the home of tribal communities like the Muttuvan and the Mannan, who farmed the slopes long before any road reached them. Everything changed in the 1870s, when British planters climbed into the hills around Munnar and discovered that tea grew beautifully in the cool, wet air. The Kandandevan hills were cleared, plantations spread, and a remote wilderness became one of the empire's prized tea estates. Then, through the middle of the 20th century, came the settlers, farmers from central Travancore who pushed up into the forests in search of land, planting pepper, cardamom, and rubber on the cleared slopes. In one lifetime, Idukki went from jungle to one of the richest farming belts in Kerala. And what it grows is extraordinary. These are the Cardamom Hills, and 3 taluks of Idukki alone produce around 70% of all the cardamom grown in India, and a sizable share of the entire world's supply. Pepper, coffee, rubber, and tea climb the same slopes. Around Munnar, the Kandandevan estates roll green to the horizon, some of the highest tea gardens on earth. And then there is power. The Idukki Arch Dam, thrown across the Periyar Gorge between 2 granite hills, is Asia's first arch dam. 168 meters of curved concrete, feeding a power station of 780 megawatts. For decades, it has been the single largest source of electricity in Kerala. Tea, spice, and water. Idukki turns all 3 into wealth. Life in the high ranges is its own world. Malayalam is the language, but in the tea towns around Munnar, you will hear Tamil too, spoken by the families who came generations ago to work the estates. It is a land of settlers and tribes, of hill churches and small temples, of plantation chapels lit at dawn. The food is highland food, tapioca and beef, fiery beef curry, hot spice tea, and the dark mineral jaggery of Marayoor, made from sugarcane grown nowhere else in Kerala quite the same way. Up here, far from the coast, Kerala feels different, cooler, quieter, and wrapped in mist. For a young and thinly peopled district, Idukki has still sent its share of names out into the world. The actor Asif Ali, one of Malayalam cinema's busiest leading men, was born in Thodupuzha. The athlete K.M. Beenamol, an Olympian and Asian Games champion on the track, grew up in these hills. And in public life, the district has sent figures like Dean Kuriakose to represent the high ranges in parliament. Not bad for a place that is mostly forest and tea. But it is as a place to see that Idukki truly shines. Munnar is the jewel. Endless tea hills, cool air, and Eravikulam National Park, home to the rare Nilgiri tahr and to Anamudi at 2,695 meters, the highest peak in all of South India. Once every 12 years, these slopes turn blue when the Neelakurinji flowers bloom. To the south lies Thekkady and the Periyar Tiger Reserve, where you drift across a forest lake watching elephants come down to drink. At Ramakkalmedu, the wind never stops, and giant turbines turn above a sweeping view into Tamil Nadu. There are the meadows and pine forests of Vagamon, the ancient sandalwood groves and stone dolmens of Marayoor, and everywhere the great Arch Dam holding back the Periyar. Few districts in India pack so much into so little space. Tea on the high slopes, cardamom in the air, water turned to light, and the highest peak in the south. That, in short, is Idukki, Kerala's wild green roof. If this is your district, tell us in the comments and subscribe because we cover a new one every time.